So, Kevin, with the Cowboys going up against the Patriots in this Week 6 matchup, who do you think has the advantage in this game and why?
Well, I'm strictly just going to go Dallas because they do have a deadly, deadly offense. And I know that Bill Belichick is always known for taking away one of your best dominant features, whether or not that's your Pro Bowl running back or somebody out there that's dominating on the receiving end, or even a quarterback in terms of limiting him and making him kind of feel the pressure from inside the pocket. And I just feel that Dallas just has all of those things. Dallas has a very capable quarterback in Dak Prescott. Dallas obviously has one of the league's best running backs and probably the best league backup outside of Kareem Hunt and Tony Pollard. And then the wide receiver tandem of CeeDee Lamb and obviously Amari Cooper is just one for the history books because you have the young speedster that is CeeDee Lamb that does run a very great route tree. And then on the opposite side of the field, you have probably one of the best route runners in the NFL and Amari Cooper when he feels like playing. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you have a defensive player of the year candidate in Trayvon Diggs. So I do believe Dallas has the edge on almost every single front, but New England does just overall have better coaching. Obviously, Mark McCarthy has made some questionable decisions in his tenure thus far in Dallas in terms of some of the personnel that he'll run in certain games. And then obviously, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator calling the plays for Dak. But when you think of the opposite side and Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels, Bill's definitely always been the defensive engineer, and Josh has always been the wizard that has assisted this offense and this very incapable offense for the majority of Tom's career in terms of personnel. Josh McDaniels was the wizard behind a lot of those Super Bowl victories. So you kind of have to wonder, what is he going to dial up to come prepared for that game against the Dallas Cowboys, who statistically, technically, still have one of the worst defenses in terms of offensive, passing yards, right?
They give up a lot of yards just across the board.
So, in terms of their defense being detrimental to the offense of the New England Patriots, I think this is going to be one of Mac Jones's best opportunities to come out and show that he's a first round pick for a reason. And I feel that they're going to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage because I do not believe that this Dallas pass rush is going to be able to consistently get to Mac. And I think that Bill Belichick and Josh are going to come prepared to get some quick strikes out there, kind of get the receivers kind of in some form of a rhythm, and then obviously get Matt going and confident with his ability to put the ball down the field. So we will see what happens, but I definitely do still have Dallas overall winning this game by 7 to 10 points, maybe by the score of 34-24, something of that nature.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you here simply just because I just think Dallas has too high powered of an offense to contend with. Now, I will say this about the Patriots though. The Patriots, when they've gone up against a high powered offense, specifically against the Bucks a couple weeks back, they held Tampa to only 19 points of offense. And they definitely showed that they could contend with a high powered offense. But the one difference between Tampa and Dallas is, well, in the Tampa game, it rained pretty much the entire night, and I think it definitely affected the Bucks' ability to be able to get into an offensive rhythm. That's not going to be the case in this matchup. I think the weather is going to be a lot more opportunistic as far as just being able to move up and down the field because I don't think rain is going to be a factor in this game whatsoever. So when I look at Dallas's offense, I think their main point of emphasis this week is run the football. New England has one of the worst pass, not one of the worst. They have one of the worst rush defenses across the board in the NFL. And with the way that Dallas's offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage in pretty much every game that they've played so far this year, this is a game where I could potentially see Dallas getting at least 150, 175, if not 200 yards of in rush offense from both Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. It's just, if those offensive linemen can open up those run lanes for both of those guys, it is going to be a long afternoon for that Patriots defense. And really, I think the only way that the Patriots are going to be able to kind of contend with the Cowboys is to be able to throw the ball consistently. And I do think that Mac is going to have some solid opportunities to pass on the secondary that Dallas currently has. The only thing that I would probably tell Mac is just stay away from Trayvon Diggs. That dude is going to be in the right position at pretty much all times. And if he's in the right spot at the right time, he will definitely grab an interception. Hell, I mean, he could even grab two if the opportunities are there for him. But I do think that the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. against this Dallas defense. The only thing that would counteract that is if Dallas gets a pass rush, which they could, depending on who starts for the offensive lineman for the Patriots this week. Last week, they had 4 out of their 5 starting linemen out due to injury going into that Houston matchup. I believe they will be more healthy going into this matchup against the Cowboys. So they do have a better chance to keep Mac upright in this game. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm rolling with what I've seen so far with Dallas, and I think Dak's going to have a solid game as well. He's been extremely efficient this year. He has not turned the ball over that much throughout the season so far. And I think if they're able to get CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, and hell, even Dalton Schultz, their tight end spot, open, I think the opportunities are going to be there. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game that I think some people may possibly project in this game. I think Dallas scores like 27, maybe 28 points, and I think the Patriots, I think they score somewhere around 21 to 24. But it's going to be a one possession game when it's all said and done. But I'm favoring Dallas in this matchup simply just because they just look like the better team at this point. But you never know what Bill Belichick can dial up. And he's one of the best defensive coaches that we've ever seen. And look, if they're able to get Dak off his spot, and if they're able to slow down Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, I'm not ruling out the possibility that the Patriots could get the upset here. I just think it's more likely than not. I think the Cowboys get this one, and they move on to 5-1 in the season at this point.